This recording will demonstrate how to use the program ModMath, which is a math program math app on the iPad. I am going to demonstrate the free version of ModMath. There is also a pro version you can purchase, as well as some extra symbols you can purchase. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I will be showing you the free version with some basic math problems that you can do, including addition with carrying, subtraction with borrowing. I will show you long division with the remainder, and I will show you how to manipulate fractions using the fraction placeholder key. I will also show you the different backgrounds you can use with ModMath and how you can send it to a printer or an email so that your student can turn in their work. So at this point, I will show you how ModMath works. This is the symbol for ModMath, and so when you are looking for it in the iTunes store or on your iPad, this is what you're looking for. And we will go ahead and show you that. When it first comes up, you do have the ability to put a keyboard on the screen, and your background is a grid. And in order to enter your information, you click on a square on the grid, and then you click whatever symbol or number you'd like to be in that grid, and you click that down from the keyboard. One of the things I would like you to see is that there's a little dot in the lower left corner of some of the keys. That means there's a sub-menu of options under that, and I will show you that later too. But first, we will just do the simple arithmetic problem of 25 plus 36, and so we'll go ahead and show you how that works. You can click on the grid, and then you click on your 2 and your 5 to get 25, and then you can click on your plus. If you want to make the grid bigger, you just pinch and spread your fingers, then you can see it bigger, and then you can add your 36. Notice the line under the plus automatically occurs if you hit the plus and you're doing it in this order. And then I want to stop for a moment and show you when you do this addition problem, you want to do 5 plus 6 and you have 11. So you want to put the ones place 1 right here, but you need the tens place 1 to go up here as a carry option. And so what we do is we tap on this 2 so that we have that square selected, and then we come down and we tap on this little character that has an N with a little square above it. When you tap on that, notice there's a little dot at the lower left, so you get a variety of choices. You get 4. You can have the square in the upper left, the upper right, the lower left, depending on if you want to have an exponent, if you want to borrow, carry, what you want to do. So since we are carrying, we are going to choose the one, which I've already done, that has this square in the upper left. And that automatically puts the placeholder right here, and that's the gray one. So when you hit a 1 on your keyboard, it's going to go right here in that placeholder, and then you can continue and add 1 and 2 and 3. So here we go. So that 1 goes right there, and then we have our 2, 3, 1 equals 6. The next thing we're going to do is a subtraction, 36 minus 17. And so again, we're just setting up our problem. And then at this point, we need to do 6 minus 7, which we know means we need to borrow a 1 from the 3. So again, we can use our key down here that has the N with the square above it. And so we'll choose that so that we can do make this a 2, and then but we also need to cross out our 3. So to do that, we're going to use this little key that has the N with a hash mark through it. And then we still need to take that 1 that we are borrowing and put it over by the 6. So again, we're going to use our key down here that has the little square above it. So let's watch how that happens. So we go ahead and choose our 3. We choose the key that has the little square above it. make it a 2, then we choose the one that has the hash mark, so we cross out that 3, and then we need to choose to carry that 1, borrow that 1 over to the 6, and then we continue to solve our problem. Now, your student could cross out the 3 first and then put the 2, which would probably be the way they would have done it, the way you would have taught them to do it. So that order can be done that way. So then we can just solve our subtraction problem. 16 minus 7 is 9, 2 minus 1 is 1, and we get our answer. So that's subtraction. The next thing we're going to do is division. And so we have a division symbol down here on the lower left. We also have a remainder symbol that we'll be using. So we'll show you how that works. So we choose our division symbol. And so when we enter our number under it, it automatically makes that line go as far as it needs to. And then, so we're going to do 25 divided by 2. 2 goes into 2 one time. We just go ahead and we're doing our typical subtraction, and then we put a 5 here, and 2 times 2 is 4, so we go ahead and subtract that. And then we have a remainder of 1, so we're going to do 5 minus 4 is 1, and then we choose our remainder, and you'll see what we do is we put our 1 down, and then we select up on this grid where we want our remainder to be, select the remainder key, and then put a 1. So that's how we do our division problem, and you can see how your student can do long division completely in the way that they'd be doing it on paper, but they can do it on the iPad. The next thing we're going to look at is a fraction, 2/3 divided by 1/4. And so to do that, we're going to use this fraction tool key, and it's going to automatically put a placeholder for our numerator and our denominator. So let's watch how that does. So we select where we want to do it on the grid, and then we select our fraction key, and then you see how it grays out where we need to put the numbers. And then we do our divided by, and I meant 1/4, so I need to do undo to get rid of that 1, and then I can go ahead and do 1/4. And so I used the fraction key for that. So we can continue going down using the fraction key, and we do 2/3, and now we know we have to do times the inverse, which is 4/1. So again, we choose our fraction and do 4/1, and then we can just come down, and we're going to go ahead and multiply. 2 times 4 is 8, so it's 8/3, and again using our fraction key. So one thing I wanted to show you before we go too far is I used the undo to fix what I was doing up here. There's also a redo, and you can do that as many times as you need to on this paper. And I think that's a significant feature whenever you have a math app or program, that it lets you undo and redo as many times as you need to, because sometimes our students need to be able to redo what they undid and undo what they did. So you can see now how our keys with the dots have our different options, and I'm just going to go through and show you some of those. And so I'm just showing you that, you know, plus has plus or plus minus, and minus has minus or plus minus. So you can get that in both places. You can choose a variety of variables. You can choose 2 different kinds of parentheses, the parenthesis and the bracket. And one of the things that I want to highlight too is this symbol is the square root symbol. So you can also do a square root. And just like the division symbol, that upper line will just continue on as you add numbers below it. So that's your keypad that comes free. This little arrow here will show you additional keys that you can purchase, and that's so you can do some very high level math. With the ones that are there, you can do some fairly high level math because you get your exponents, you get your square root. But if you need to do higher level, you can purchase these additional key sets. So, and that is just something that they've had to do in order to keep it free. They've added features, but they've had to charge for some of them because they're trying to keep the basics free. So the next thing I want to show you is how you can manipulate your paper. And so this middle one is where you choose what your background and your contrast and your colors of your font are. So I'm just going through and showing you the different choices. They call this your swatches, and so you can just go through and see how that changes. The next thing I want to show you is how you can export it out. So you can export it to copy it, you can print it, you can send it to email, to a message, you can send it to notes, and then if you have other options, you can choose those. That's a fairly standard iPad function, but I wanted to show you where that was, and so then you can do that. And then the next thing I want to show you is how you actually look at all the different pages you have, and that's on here. So you choose that and you can see your different pages, and you can see on here that we have 2 sets, and this is where you would change your title. So you would just type right over this, click it, and you could type over it. You could see each file has how many pages it has. It shows you the date that you last updated that file, that set of pages. You can also delete them here or export them from here too. So this is just your screen that shows you all the different work you've done in ModMath. So then you can come back here, you can go to the page you're on. Page 2 has nothing on it. We just drag down and we get to the work we've done. So that is ModMath, and I hope that you can see that it's a very effective tool to do your math. You can do from very early math all the way through early algebra with the free version of ModMath, and it is just a great program, I think, for our students who need that help with doing math on the iPad without paper and pencil. So thank you for watching this, and